Anger. Anger.
Investigators. And the question becomes, did you see anyone coming into or leaving that property after the Tesla was there? So after the Tesla with Celeste's body inside is there, can you tell us you saw people coming in and out of that property before the, let's say this, before the search warrant?
No, not from the time that the Tesla was left. So from the time the Tesla was left there, he literally immediately started the tour. There was a tour bus that was leased, and I'll tell you that Tesla was moved.
Immediately started the tour. They trying to cut a sacrificial lamb.
And literally a bus departed for tour.
Okay. You talked about things that might have been taken from the house, things that you handed over to LAPD. Is there anything you can share with us about what that information may be?
You know, one thing that you just brought up, and I guess you reported on, the security system. The house has got a very sophisticated security system, not just cameras, but with sensors and all types of things. It all records to a DVR. And for privacy reasons, the owner, when he leased the house, said, you know, this is the system that's in the house, and you can use whatever functions you want on it. That's not something that then the owner could access. So we don't know if the cameras...
Can we just swap him for Lil Durk? I don't even care no more. Hey, I'm just can we swap David for Lil Durk? I love all music, gang. Now we just got, it be like we got one good, man, bro. Swap David for Lil Durk.
Were enabled or not enabled. But if they were,
petition.
It wouldn't just be cameras. It would be, you know, anytime anybody came and went from the house, anytime anybody opened the window, everything, if they kept it like it was. But we don't know. LAPD came in and took that whole DVR. They took the entire system, which you would expect. And I've talked to the security company that installed the system, and they've told me, you know, how it was set up. We think it was probably running because there's limited alerts that the security guy can see, which is stuff like if there's a major failure. And there was a low power failure warning that triggered right when they were executing the search warrant, and we think that's when they unplugged the system. So there's reason to believe that the system was running. Whether the cameras were covered or not, I don't know. I can tell you that some of the smoke sensors in the house were covered, and that's probably because maybe they were, I don't know what they were doing in the house. So the cameras might have been covered as well.
During the course of your investigation so far, have you learned more information about Celeste and David, perhaps their connection, anything we should be thinking about that hasn't been publicly reported? Is your investigation also into them as well?
Sure. Yeah. And, you know, one of the reasons that we've kind of come public with what I'm doing is because, you know, I have a little bit different method of working than a lot of private investigators, and then what people think is the proper way of doing it. I believe in this digital age, and when, especially the younger generation, when they're on places like Discord and you don't even know their real identities, you know, I put myself out there, and those people do come to me, and a tremendous amount of people have come to me, and I've learned a lot. Now, listen, a lot of it's circumstantial, right? But there are people that are directly in his orbit, and there are people that have photos and videos, and we've gotten a lot of photos and videos from inside the home itself. So we can put people at certain dates and times at the house, and there's a lot of them. It's in the thousands.
They could.
Do you know if Celeste was ever at that proproperty?
So, you know, what we recovered, we don't have any of her at that property. We have pictures of her and that were taken by David, we assume, because it's not on a camera phone, but these photos are on a regular camera at different locations. And it really makes me think that it's likely she had another place she was staying. I can tell you that there was a lot of time spent towards downtown LA. And I'll say the last photo that we have of Celeste is January 2nd, 2025.
Okay, now that's significant because we were wondering when, you know, she was last seen alive. There was that surveillance footage of her seemingly running away from her neighborhood. And
that was September of 24, I believe. So we didn't have anything. We were like, where was this girl in 2025? But we do have a photo of her on July 2nd, early in the morning, July 2nd, 2025.
Has anyone, and just to be clear, you don't know more information about when she died, right?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any information of how she died or when exactly she died. Listen, investigations are always moving, and right now I tend to believe it happened a while ago, a long time ago. And I think January, February, things changed. I mean, you can see it in the photos and everything. And I also think when I first started looking at this case, I'm very much an Occam's razor type of person where I think things are a lot easier than people try to make them sometimes, especially online, into these big things. And I thought this was going to be a tragic overdose, which it very well still could be. And they made a bad decision because they didn't want to expose a potential relationship and put her in this Tesla. And then maybe he thought he could get somebody to get rid of that car. And they were just like, no, I'm not doing it, and just got left there. But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her. And it's scary, sadistic stuff. And that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more, but for obvious reasons I can't. But it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on ultimately getting rid of her, and how maybe that Tesla was just a holding spot at the time, and things just, their timing was just off as far as getting this.
More sadistic. They left for the concert. Back to GTA. Now, if that don't make no sense to you, I don't know how y'all be thinking, but bruh, he just said it plain. Didn't nobody want to do that shit. I'm not moving that body for you. You ain't even did sex yet. You ain't go all the way through with it. Man, you ain't got no money to help me and my family if you really do get caught, my boy. That's what they was telling me. He got scared. He got on the road. He didn't know what was gonna happen. Timber me timbers in his britches, like, you feel me? Balls in his stomach type shit, you feel me? You don't know what. Soon as that first, God, he know. Oh, you did it, man. You did it. You did it. And look, if he didn't do it, sometimes I just be wishing we don't do it. It don't be us. It's something bigger than him, and he don't even know. Like, yeah, he a weirdo for dealing with her because she young. I don't give a fuck. Care if this is definition of character, not well. Any nigga and anybody that would do that, they character. We on 11 years. She's like 11, 13. Come on, gang, bro. Can't believe this nigga still out.
Done, but there's a few things that were just like, will blow your mind.
Has anyone from David's team, management, legal, anybody reached out to you or your client?
I know that my client's been in touch with his manager, but only for the purpose of the lease, because they did ask to terminate the lease. And I believe the other manager that technically was the owner of the red Tesla, I think was in touch with him just because they needed access to the house to get that vehicle and stuff out. Because that's another thing that I think could be key in this, is that there's only one key to that house, and who had that and who had access to it and who was in it. Because we also have evidence that while David was on tour at the time between the Tesla being found and the search warrant being served, David was on tour, but somebody was in that house. And there was actually a report made, not with police, but that homeowner association has a robust private security company, and we've gotten videos from them and reports. And so who had that key is probably the same person that had access to the Tesla.
Do you know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
So I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I don't mean I can't say but I don't know who exactly was in that the house because it's just a report, but there's video, but you can't make a person out. But somebody was in the house, and being that there's only one key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her body? I don't know.
Now, we heard this week from LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman, and he actually addressed this case directly when a TMZ reporter caught up with him outside the DA's office. And regarding the status of the case, he said, quote, "It is currently under investigation. We don't discuss suspects or the points in a continuing investigation. When and if that case is presented to the DA's office and we make a decision on it, I'll make sure you're one of the first to know. A case has not been presented to our office for filing consideration." And just to underline that, a spokesperson for the DA's office confirmed to Complex that, yeah, no case has been presented for filing consideration. The LAPD also told the outlet that the county medical examiner still hasn't determined a cause or manner of death, saying, quote, "It remains unclear whether there is any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body." Now, Steve, you just told us a lot of information here. Are you surprised that we don't have a confirmed suspect from law enforcement or a person of interest or even an arrest at this point? Or can you say from what you're seeing, that makes sense, but Jesse, maybe be on the lookout for something soon?
Yeah, I would say, Jesse, that makes sense, but maybe be on the lookout for something soon. Yeah, I've seen this in a lot of cases.
Something that they can make up within due time to get this kid off. He was making billions. He's gonna make billions. He probably didn't made them billions, and he don't know. I'm just saying. It's been it don't take that long. He said he don't know who was in the car, who dropped the car off. You don't know, and you just told us it was all that surveillance. I just really listen to what people say. He just said it's loads of surveillance. Bro, if y'all don't let us know who done did this to this little girl, bro, y'all cold.
It tells me, listen, I don't have any inside information on this. I'm just saying, from my opinion, that this means that during the examination, the autopsy examination, there was nothing very obvious, such as a crushed skull, bullet holes, anything like that. So they're waiting on toxicology to come back to make that final determination. Now, is the medical examiner in contact with the detectives in between this time? Are they? Absolutely. Do they have a preliminary determination? I'm sure they do. I think the DA's office is working side by side with the detectives and telling them, this is what we need for these charges. This is what we would need for these charges. Can you get it or not get it? Listen, a crime 100% happened here. At minimum, it's the concealment of a body, right? So we know somebody did that. Hopefully it's not, a mutilation. Hopefully those initial reports were wrong about her being.
He just said they was planning more.
Dismembered. But one thing I have to say, even though I talked about how we found some things that could have meant they had a really twisted plan in place to get rid of her, it never went in motion. So you can't charge somebody for a crime that they may have thought about doing. So, we may never know more about that.
Well, wouldn't it be the suspects? Those would be the suspects. We'll go for street shit. This is not street shit. This is our kids we talking about. Gotta tell on the street guy, say they names. Somebody gonna do the other gang gonna try to go get them. Yeah, we get it. Still no good. Blah blah blah. And, the suspects. You know the suspects for sure because you know who was plotting to kill her after. I mean, excuse me, Twitch on GTA. You know who was plotting to unalive her. You know who the fuck. You know who the fuck parked the car. He told us it was a million cameras in the area. Then you said it's for sure like